All right, welcome. Today, we're going to talk about a 2,000-year-old operating system for your mind. Seriously, it's a philosophy built to give you inner peace, even when the world around you is just complete chaos. It's called Stoicism. And you know what? It might just be the exact tool we all need to handle our crazy modern lives.
So let's just think about this for a second. You're driving, stuck in traffic, someone leaves a nasty comment on your social media, your boss gets angry, and just like that, boom, your whole day is shot. It's like your peace of mind just gets snatched away, which really brings us to this big question. Why is the remote control for your emotions in someone else's hands?
Look, we all want to be that cool, calm, resilient person, right? But if we're being honest, most of the time, we're just slaves to our feelings. Anger, anxiety, fear. They're the ones in the driver's seat, not us. The real problem isn't the traffic jam or the rude comment, it's how we react on the inside.
So what's the solution? What if I told you there's a way to actually grab that remote control back, and it comes from a mental framework that's over 2,000 years old, designed for people living in a world that was frankly even crazier than ours? And listen, this wasn't dreamed up by some guru meditating on a mountain, no way. This was forged in the fire by Seneca, a Roman statesman, a writer, a businessman who dealt with political plots and death threats daily, and somehow he figured out how to stay calm right in the middle of it all.
And that brings us to the absolute core of Stoicism. It's the one rule that honestly changes everything. It's a super simple but really profound idea about what you can control and what you can't. Okay, here's the perfect example. Picture this. You're at the airport. Your flight gets delayed by 2 hours. That's the event. It's completely out of your hands, right? Now you see one person just losing it, shouting at the airline staff, pacing, completely ruining their own day. But then you look over, and another person in the exact same boat just calmly pulls out a book. The event is identical for both of them, but their experience, totally different. And that's all down to their response.
And this is exactly what Seneca was talking about. You see, the flight delay itself didn't hurt anyone. It couldn't. What did cause the pain was the thought about the delay. The anger, the frustration, that was a choice. The person with the book made a different choice. So here's the takeaway. Your real power isn't trying to control the world around you. It's in choosing how you respond to it.
Okay, so once you really get that core idea, you realize Stoicism isn't just some dusty old philosophy. It's a practical toolkit. It gives you actual tools to help you manage those responses. So let's open up the toolbox and look at a few things you can start using, like right now.
All right, tool number 1. Imagine the worst. The fancy Latin name is premeditatio malorum. Now, this isn't about being pessimistic. It's about being prepared. Think about it. A boxer prepares to get hit, right? That's what makes them tough. Same idea here. Tool 2, delay your anger. That person cuts you off in traffic. Instead of instantly laying on the horn, just wait. Take one deep breath. That little pause, that's where you take your power back. And third, reduce your desires. This is the real secret to freedom. And this quote from Seneca just nails that third point. We're so conditioned to think that being rich means having more stuff. But the Stoics flip that completely. They say real wealth is about wanting less. Imagine two people, both making the exact same amount of money. One of them is always chasing the newest gadget, the designer clothes. They're always stressed, always comparing, probably in debt. The other person lives simply. They're happy with what they have. Who's really richer? One is a slave to wanting more, and the other is free. That's the whole game, contentment.
And you know what? This same logic applies to fear. Our mind is like a movie director that specializes in horror films. It just creates these terrifying stories. I mean, think about public speaking. You might spend weeks, even months, worrying about it. What if I mess up? What if they all laugh at me? You suffer for all that time, and then the actual speech is what, 15 minutes? And it's totally fine. The suffering wasn't the event. It was the story you told yourself about the event. The trick is to call it out. Ask yourself, is this real, or is this just a scary movie my brain is making up?
Okay, so these tools are amazing for dealing with day-to-day stress, but they're all pointing towards something bigger. They're all in service of a much larger goal, figuring out how to live a good life. So what does a good life even mean, according to the Stoics? The Stoics were always telling us to zoom out, to look at the big picture. Because at the end of it all, when you're on your deathbed, your bank balance, your job title, none of that stuff is going to matter. It's just external fluff that disappears. What's left is your character, how you actually lived. I heard this story about a huge CEO who retired and said, "I won the world, but I lost my family." He had all the success you could imagine, but he knew deep down he hadn't lived a good life. And that distinction is everything.
So for a Stoic, a good life is a life of virtue. It's all built on these 4 pillars. First, there's wisdom, just seeing the world as it really is and knowing what's important. Then there's courage, and not just battlefield courage, but the courage to do the right thing every single day. Third is justice, which is really just about being fair and good to other people. And finally, temperance, or self-control, being the master of your own desires, not their slave. Think of these 4 things as your internal compass. They guide every single decision.
And the beautiful thing is, this isn't some complicated theory you have to study for years. Living a good life, a virtuous life, just comes down to the tiny choices you make every single day. It's choosing to be honest when it would be easier to lie. It's choosing to be brave when you're scared. It's choosing to be calm when you feel that flash of anger. Each little choice is like a single brick, and over a lifetime, all those bricks build your character.
Okay, let's wrap this up with one last idea. And honestly, this might be the most powerful and practical Stoic tool of them all. It's a single thought that can completely change how you look at your life, starting today. It's called memento mori, and it means remember that you must die. I know, that sounds super dark and depressing, right? But it's not meant to be. It's a tool. It's designed to wake you up. Because when you truly remember that your time here is finite, you start seeing every single day as a precious gift. It's like a filter that just burns away all the petty, unimportant stuff we waste our energy on. Think about it. All those little arguments, worrying about what other people think, putting things off until tomorrow, all of that just melts away when you remember that the clock is ticking. You know, Steve Jobs famously said this was his most important tool for making big life decisions, remembering he was going to die. Because it absolutely forces you to cut through the noise and focus only on what truly matters.
And so that leaves us with this one final question. A question you can carry with you out of this explainer and into your day. If you knew, for a fact, that today was the last day of your life, would you still do what you're about to do today? It's a really simple question, isn't it? But answering it honestly, well, that can change absolutely everything. Starting right now.